He's got the joke.
She's got the laughter. Put it all together, that's one big disaster. Come and see it live one day out the week.
There's no show online that we can't beat.
We're real, and we know it.
And this show is really going to show it.
So close all your blinds and turn off your celly. It's time to hang out with Ham and Telly.
Andy Woods.
Andy Woods. Hey everyone, welcome to the season 1 finale of Ham and Telly. Lord, this is so nerve-wracking, and I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting rid of the show. But everybody say hello to D Woods. You all know her, the multi-talented and beautiful D Woods.
Beautiful.
Hey everybody.
How are you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good.
We're great now. Like you're on the show.
Yeah, we're happy.
We're amazing. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. We're trying to take it in. We're trying to take it in. All right. So we've seen you've been a busy woman. You've been a very busy woman.
Yes.
Gotta stay busy.
Stay busy, yes. From Blackbird to Life Twirls On.
Yes.
To Life with Ruth. Tell us about Blackbird.
Blackbird, if everybody doesn't know about it, it is a film that is out in theaters now. In New York, I think it's at the Empire Times Square, the AMC Empire Times Square, the AMC Village, and the Magic Johnson AMC in Harlem. And it's in select cities. It's an independent film produced by Monique and Isaiah Washington, and written and directed by Patrick Ian Polk. And I'm in it. And it's the story of a young boy by the name of Randy Rusaw, and he is coming to terms with his sexuality in a very conservative, religious Mississippi town. And as you can imagine, that is not easy. And he's also living up to the expectations of his, so he kind of has a tug of war going on within himself, and it's a coming of age story for all the characters, really. My character's name is Leslie Crandall, and she's the preacher's daughter. So if anybody has ever been in church, you know that the preacher's kids usually got some things going on. So Leslie does. And yeah, that's what's up with the movie. I'm also producing the soundtrack with my label, Wood Grain Entertainment, and Patrick Ian Polk's production company, Tall Skinny Black Boy Productions. So everyone can look out for that this summer when the film comes to DVD and video on demand and Netflix and stuff. But the first single is out in everything digital. It's called Find Your Way. And it's like a real, like, lovely pop ballad, emotional, vulnerable song. And the video will be coming soon. We just got the final edit and watched it and loved it. So you guys can look out for that.
Can you tell us about the video? Because we've seen the behind the scenes and I just love it. Can you tell us like the theme behind it?
Well, we wanted it to be close to, you know, the setting of the movie, so that people could, you know, relate the two. We also have, you know, scenes and clips from the movie within the video. So it's really just me delivering the song kind of in the setting of what we felt would look and, you know, coincide with the movie. Just like being out, waiting for your loved one to come home. That's what it's called, Find Your Way Home. And home can be a lot of different things. Home can be your actual home, the house that you live in or your family's in. A home can just be like finding yourself or finding God or finding, you know, peace. You know what I'm saying? Find your way home. Yeah.
In the video, I may add. Yes.
So
thank you.
The feel of it, like I love houses with decks on them for some reason, porches, and I'm glad that you're sitting on there. I'm like, oh man, I just love it.
Yeah, we didn't want it to be like too like color purple, like, you know, sitting silly on the porch or anything, but we definitely wanted to have like that homey feel, that real like picturesque homey picket fence and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one thing we do know is that you've had a very amazing solo career.
Yes.
You have released a few mixtapes. You've been starring in a lot of things. So how has this solo venture been treating you? Do you feel it? I guess you would say like a lot more rewarding. Do you have a lot of fun? You have full control over everything that you're doing. So how has that been for you?
It's definitely a lot more rewarding because knowing that I'm executing my vision and that I have a team of people who are to seeing my vision come to light, and not really having to compromise that. Of course, there are certain compromises just because this is the business. It's not just like, oh, make a wish list and grant my wish, you know what I'm saying? But there is, work involved. But when you know that you're working for something that you truly believe in and that is a reflection of, your artistic vision, and you actually see it come to pass, that's rewarding it's in the small victories and the large things, you know what I mean? And I've been enjoying that. Also, just knowing that I'm able to really, express and show my true like capabilities and potential, and not having to, dumb it down or make it smaller to make anybody else around me feel comfortable or feel, non-threatened or whatever. That's a good thing too. So it's definitely been a challenge, however, because the audience knows me in a certain way. And it's like I have to re-educate them and say, no, that's not who I really am. No, the best is really yet to come. Okay, if you like that, you're going to love this. And it's just that constant, like, making the first impression for the second time, which everybody knows is kind of hard. And you have to, like, really rely on the people's open-mindedness and willingness to accept a new, version of yourself, even though the version that you were initially introduced to them as wasn't by your design. So there's a little bit of a, there's a challenge. It's an uphill battle some days. Some days are easier than others, but I kind of just keep tunnel vision, and I'm in my room, so I show you my vision board over here. You see all the craziness.
Awesome.
I have just like all these plans and strategies, and I'm constantly on the hunt for what I can make bigger and better of my ideas. So yeah,
we have a vision wall ourselves. I mean, we can't move our stuff right now, but we have a vision wall where we have
we
post-it
do.
notes, pasted all on the walls and everything.
Exactly.
So we're not alone.
And it's so great that you say that, because we do know that you started off as a background dancer for a lot of big name people, and just to see your journey from like being a background dancer to now like forefront and showing off your talent, because you're crazy and talented. So is there any advice that you would give for people who are trying to break into the industry and don't really know a way to go about it, and like to stay true to themselves as you have been as well?
well, I'll definitely say that first of all, you have to like love what you do, because it's not going to be easy, and a lot of times it's going to be a delayed reward or gratification or recognition or whatever. And you want to be, who's going to give you that proof or that gratification? Like, are you looking for it through other people? Are you looking for it through money? Are you looking for it through, like charting, position on the charts or being on television? Because sometimes you get that stuff and you still feel empty inside, or you always going to be chasing something or some sort of like, I don't know, like validation from the wrong people. So you have to really like know yourself. And like you said, like I actually started in dance and theater when I was like 3 years old in dance and 5 years old in theater. So it's been a long journey of just training and being in different, constantly learning and constantly getting better and honing the craft and being around people who are better than you, and being okay and learning from them and being humble enough to take direction and to always be, you know, training. Like right now, like I'm in my room, so I'll show y'all. Like I'm reading this book right here, like the Meisner acting technique, and it's like, but I went to NYU for theater, for acting, so I should know everything there is about acting. I got to, but like, no, you always have to sharpen your skills. You always have to keep, you know, pushing yourself and always make yourself better. So even though I did that, then you got to keep the tool in your toolbox, you know, use them or you lose them, you know, use it or lose it. So I would just say that to people: educate yourself, always go to seminars, listen to people. One thing that somebody told me when I was like 14, they were like, never cut somebody off in the middle of their story that they're telling you, even if you think you've heard it before, because there's always going to be something that maybe they didn't add the first time, or maybe that you just didn't hear. You know what I mean? Or maybe that this time when you're listening to it, another part of the story will affect you differently. So it's like, oh, okay. So even though my mother tells me stories about stuff and it'd be the same one, I just let her talk. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Now, you know, when I heard that story when I was 15, it was just one thing. But now that I'm grown, I'm like, you know what? This is affecting me differently because I can relate to it different, because I'm in a different part of my life. Or maybe she didn't add that part that she probably didn't want to put in there because maybe she thought it was inappropriate for me to hear at that age, or whatever the case may be, you know. So I just say, like, be a sponge and just keep on adding to your arsenal of skills.
And you know, it's funny because you and Telly actually have something in common. Telly has been in dance and theater since a very young age, and I would like to give a huge shout out to her because she just starred in a play called The Extract that I went to see Wednesday, and she was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. But I appreciate you and your advice definitely, because just being kind of like a new generation and working with a lot of people in who want to be in the entertainment industry, I should say. You know, the advice you gave is something that I've heard for the first time, like being a sponge and wanting to absorb everything. Because I
listen to the story over and over again.
Because I feel like a lot of times, especially being young, we're kind of like, yeah, whatever, yeah, you know. But I think there's something to be said, like to like really observe what people are saying and not be afraid to learn from somebody too, because I feel like people are kind of afraid to learn from somebody. They want to be the best, but they don't want to.
They don't like to take nobody's advice.
Right, exactly.
I feel like you helped them out along the way. Nobody likes help.
I
have to credit you for an advice you gave me. You know?
So and that's part of being humble too. Is like, so what? You give somebody credit. They made you better. They made you better, and actually, you know, they say your character reflects the type of company you keep, you know. So if I'm around a bunch of people who are better than me, of course that's gonna make me better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay. Like, a lot of times, like when I do theater in Atlanta, I'm around people who've been doing theater for years, for like 30 years, you know, 20, 30 years. And I'm cool with being the youngest in here, and I'm cool with having the least amount of credits in the bio when they open up the program, because like when I'm standing next to this lady on stage and she's getting a standing ovation, I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm learning. I'm watching her eat it up. I'm watching her work the crowd. I'm watching how, okay, now it's gonna make me better because I have to cut that standing ovation off and enter with my energy and demand the crowd. So that just makes me better, you know. I was on a production called Shaking the Rafters, and this was the summer of 2013, and the lady I'm talking about specifically, her name is Chandra Corelli, and you get a lot of things with Tyler Perry on the Have and Have Nots and For Better For Worse, and she's been in this game like since the 80s, you know what I mean, like tearing down, you know, stages and television and stuff. But the most humble person you ever meet backstage, she's back there warming up, and I would go and I would do her vocal warm-ups with her and just watch how she gets ready for the show, and then we would do the show, and then I would just watch her work this character, and I'm like, okay, I'm taking pointers, I'm adding it into what I do, and then I'm better for it at the end of the day. So I let her know what I'm doing. She's like, yeah, baby, keep doing. I see what you're doing. You know, email blasts or little notifications. And then these people for you, you know, they're like, yeah, I know that girl is serious. She's talented. If there comes a time when there's a role and there's a director or a producer that I don't know that maybe they worked with, they're going to give like me the heads up. They're gonna say yeah, and I'll give you, you know, a good word. I'll put a bug in their ear. So it's like being around people, it's just enrichment. So I just always say be humble enough to sit back and be at somebody's feet and watch what they do, because that's only gonna make you better.
Yes. And we're both grateful right now, because everything you're telling us is what we're gonna play back in our head and continue to give you the credit and be like, listen, Dee Woods was the first celebrity on our show, and we love her to death, and she gave us the best advice.
Yeah, she took a chance on us.
She took a chance on us.
And you know, like, we're not besties now. So
y'all been in my room, in my bedroom.
Exactly. Can tell you what she has on her
wall, her wall when she's reading.
Right.
All right, I hate to backtrack a little, but I just want to know what was like the process, and how did you feel when you started your own record label with Grain Entertainment? Like, can you take us through that?
Well, I just kind of started with not thinking I was starting a record label. Like, that wasn't, I'm going to start a record label. It was like, okay, you know, the writing was on the wall that this other situation that I was in was going to end. And I was like, you know, let me just get in with people that I know. So I was recording with different producers that I had relationships with, and I had a body of music. And a friend of mine, or a friend of a friend, you know, it's just like 6 degrees separation. And they approached me and told me that, hey, I have a distribution deal. I could give you a sub-distribution deal through my deal, and this will give you, you know, the autonomy to do what you want to do. And it was kind of like, really? I could do that? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, And so I just asked other people's advice and questions. So went about, you know, registering myself as a business first, you know, doing that. And doing all the things that you have to do to, you know, get your EIN number, you know, register with the state legislator as a business, and understanding the different corporations and doing all that type of education, you know, because as an artist, you just think, okay, people are going to hand me my work or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, okay, now I'm putting myself in the position where I am the boss. So I need to know where the money's going in and out of. Yeah. And then, you know, taking the meetings and knowing what I was going to be responsible for. I was going to be responsible for the budget and recouping the budget and paying out the producers and paying out the video directors and art, you know, directors and everything like that. And then just like sources. And I was actually doing all this stuff anyway that I didn't actually realize. I was like, oh, I already have a publicist on retainer. I already have, you know, a website designer. I know video directors. I'm in studios with different producers. I have, I choreograph myself, but I also have choreographers that I, you know, take on. I know fashion designers and stylists and dancers, and like I'm kind of already a label in itself. So I was like, okay, well, I guess now we're just gonna officially give it the title. And that first distribution deal didn't go through, but it was a great learning experience because I went through all the steps. Like I met the different levels of the distribution company, the financial side and the creative side and the radio team and everything like that. And I was like, okay, so because that situation didn't actually happen the way I envisioned it to happen, but I still had the know-how, I just started doing it on my own and doing it solely independently without the major distribution and putting in the work and constantly releasing stuff every year, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13. And, being affiliated, having my membership with the Grammy Academy. So I was able to submit my stuff to be nominated for the Grammys in different categories, and learning the categories and learning the politics of all of that. So it was just kind of like a snowball effect. And then because I had done the due diligence and I, kept myself in the circles of people who were doing it for real, like talking to other independent label owners and other managers and other, there's so many positions. Like people just think either you're going to be an artist or you're not. And it's like, there's so many levels. There's publishing, there's so many levels of the music industry, but like talking to all of these people and having these conversations with them, I was actually put in contact with two gentlemen who had another situation that they introduced me to through a company called 30 Tigers, who has their distribution through Sony Red. And that's what I actually did my deal through last year. Mm-hmm. So I now have the distribution and I have the major machine that I thought I was going to have, in 2009. And, it was like I had to go through like grad school, if you will, another like bunch of learning experiences. So now that I have this deal, we're doing it the right way. And I know what I'm talking about. I know when they say certain terminology, what it means, who's responsible for what, how to read the contract, what I'm saying, what to ask for, the points and all that stuff. And that's enabled me to do things like release the Blackbird soundtrack through my label and take on other artists and their projects and develop them. So that's what I'm also involved with doing, as well as developing myself. So I'm wearing two hats. I'm wearing the executive hat and the artist hat. And so it's just kind of like a big snowball effect. It's a 24/7 job. So if you think you're gonna clock out at 8 and go to the club, nope. You might be in the club, but you might get an email or a text about something. You're like, I gotta go do something. I gotta send it.
Yeah, right.
We know exactly what you're talking about. Question. Yeah. I know your sister Chanel. She's still signed to Young Money, right?
Yes.
Do you plan on signing her to Wood Grain Entertainment at any point?
Well, she's signed to Young Money, so it's kind of like she's in that in that world. We definitely talk about doing collaborations with each other where it makes sense. I mean, we're sisters, so it's not like we're not gonna work together. Yeah. But when you're that close, and people always say, why don't y'all be a group? And it's like, well, we actually have been a group several times in our lifespan, and so we just know that what works for us is to have that space so that we can be sisters and just talk about nothing having to do with the entertainment world. And then when we need each other, we work together. Like, so we did shows together this spring at the South by Southwest Music Festival. She's on one of my records called Call It Quits, also another record called Foolish Dreamer. I'm on her mixtape, Nobody's Bitch, Part 2. And I went out with her when her and Wayne were doing some of the dates for the Sorry for the Wait tour, just to be supportive. You know what I mean? Like, Wayne has definitely kind of like taken me in as an honorary, Young Money. It's kind of just like a extended family. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I know it must feel good to have all these resources as well regarding people on your side whenever you think you need to reach out to someone.
Yeah, your network is your net worth. That's what they say.
Question again. Okay, now here's my thing. I saw For the Love of Ruth, and I have a complaint with the movie, and it's nothing bad about the film overall. I expected your character to be the star of the show. You gave me so much energy in the second you were in the movie.
It's so true.
When you bust past her waiting at table, I'm like, yes. And then we see more of you. What's going on?
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't write the script, but I was just happy to be a part of the project. You know, in this game, it's kind of a numbers game when you auditioning for roles. And that's another thing. Like people are like, oh, did they just give you the role? Like, no, every role like I'm auditioning for, just like every other actor out there. You know what I mean? And I actually prefer it that way because I would rather them really choose me for what I give them in the audition. Just like, oh yeah, we'll just give it to her. And we didn't really like what she did, but because she's who she is, we'll let her do it. But it's like, you know, these casting directors, they not pulling no favors. You know what I'm saying? They're like, we're really giving you the roles. But knowing that I was gonna be amongst such great talent, and I didn't even know who all was in the film upon, you know, auditioning for it. It was just something that my agent sent me out on, and I just, you know, did my best. But you never know, I may pop up in some more stuff. And having a small role in a big, you know, cast is just as good as being the star.
Yeah.
And that movie was really amazing, and I was really disappointed because I'm like, maybe you're gonna come in towards the end because it was just so good. Because usually when you see a waiter that usually is angry with another waiter, they usually build a friendship or a bond. And I'm like, maybe that's gonna happen in this movie. When is she coming back out?
I can tell you personally, he was very upset that you was not in any of the rest of the movie.
Where is she?
And I'm like, the movie's still on. He's like, no, where's D Woods?
Yeah, I had some family members calling like, is that the only scene you're gonna be in? And I'm like, unfortunately, yes, but most of my movie's good.
Now, what we don't have to get angry about, because you are very much in this, Life Twirls On, Robin, the psychiatrist. Yes. We love your character, Lord. Everybody likes Brandon's character, but I like yours more. I really like your character. I really like your character, and you play it to a T.
Thank you. I kind of based that character off of a friend of mine. Of course, I exaggerated it, but when I auditioned for that role, because I'm sure you saw the episode of The Real Housewives when they were trying to decide whether I could play that role or not,
Mm-hmm.
and they did some rewriting or some reworking to the characters, so the character was younger than Kenya instead of her older sister. Because I was like, I'm not gonna get this role because I'm clearly not older than Kenya, but you know, I just went in there and did my best. But she told me what she wanted out of it, and immediately I knew which one of my friends I was like, this is how she acts. If I could like put it on like 10, I just went with it. And of course, because it's a comedy, you can be even more silly and even more exaggerated. So that was a fun character to play.
It's really funny.
It really is.
And you're working behind such great people, which like I want to know, how does it, because let's name a few people that she's been working with so far. Working with or around.
Right.
Number one, Monique.
Yes.
Isaiah Washington.
Yes.
Kenya Moore.
Yes.
Loretta Devine.
Yes.
Leon.
Yes.
Cynthia Bailey.
Yes.
How does it feel to work around these people? Like, have you been getting words and wisdom and stuff from them?
Yeah, I definitely get to have like little chit chats here and there. And, you know, going back to the thing that I was saying before about being a sponge, like I, you know, ask whatever I can, or not just like, okay, now it's time for an interview with them, but, you know, you just have conversations because they're regular people too. But, you know, because they have had so much experience in the industry, you know, they just end up dropping jewels and you'll be like, I caught it. You know what I mean? So especially when doing Candy's production, A Mother's Love, being around like Shirley Murdoch and Eddie Levert was crazy because they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing this thing since before any of us was thought of, before any of our parents maybe was thought of. So like, just to be in their present advice, or just watching them work on how they either conserve their, you know, their voices, or just how they decide to make their choices with their characters, or even how they work, you know, the fans when they come out and greet the fans. It's like, okay, this is like education. So just knowing that you're among such great company, and that they are respecting my work ethic too. So that's kind of like a, you know, a nod to like my mentors and my instructors that trained me to be prepared for this moment that I'm in now. You know what I mean? I got all kinds of not horror stories. They're actually really funny. But somebody might have been like, oh my God, but it's like, it's actually funny. I came up in a ensemble called YEA. When I moved to Atlanta, in high school. And I went to a performing arts high school called Tri-Cities High School of the Visual and Performing Arts. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have come out of this school. And it was kind of like the fame of the South, you know what I'm saying? Because so many people have come out of this school and are doing amazing, great things. And it's a testament up to what the instructors were doing, because they weren't treating us like high school students. They was treating us like professionals. We was getting cussed out. We was getting shoes thrown at us. We was like running around the building, singing at the same time in the heat. You know what I'm saying? It's like you in rehearsal, you hear the band and the football game. You just like, man, I want to go out there. And they're like, oh, don't worry about them. They got theirs. You trying to get yours. And it's like, you right. Let's do it one more time. So like doing all that stuff, and now it's prepared me. Now this stuff is easy that I'm doing because I put the work in, you know.
How do you, like, because you know how all these famous people that we've named that you start along or either been in the movie with, how do you contain yourself around them? Because we know we'll have a heart attack.
Listen, once you said you'll be on the show, I had a heart attack. Yeah. I'm surprised I'm living right now. Yeah, so. she's been learning to contain herself. Right. So how, like, what was it like your first time being around somebody that like you watched when you was younger, or like you just knew that they were like this big name person, and like now you're starring next to them, or you're singing with them, or like how a
personal connection with them.
Like how was that first experience for you?
Let's see. I have a thing about myself. Like I really, since I was little, really just always saw myself being on this level. And I think the first person that I really had like a oh my gosh moment that I really would have I was going crazy in the back of my mind, but I contained myself in some kind of way, was when I met Janet Jackson.
Woo!
And
right now, just think about it.
Right, you can't say that name. You gotta slow down a little bit.
Because having danced for a lot of different artists and been on their shows, so being behind the scenes and in their videos, you know what I mean? And just knowing that I had a job to do. Sorry, I gotta like get my charger from my laptop. I see it on red. Being and knowing that I had a job to do, I kind of contained myself in that way, and I just knew that I could walk up to somebody and pay homage to them and be respectful, but still kind of like be an admirer of what they do. Gosh, for real, was when I met Janet Jackson, and ironically, it was when I was in rehearsal with Danity Kane, and we were actually working with one of Janet's choreographers. So he surprised us by just telling Janet to pop up at rehearsal. So imagine you in rehearsal, you've done it a million times. We tired, we hot, sweaty, and you know, it wasn't the best conditions of, you know, working with people. So I'm doing what I'm doing, but like I said, you have to put your best foot forward no matter what's going on. Walks Janet Jackson. So we in the middle of running the show, all right? And somebody just walks in the door. So it's like, okay, somebody walks in the door, but you still got to keep going or whatever you're doing, and you're supposed to be focused on what you're doing, but you kind of like in your peripheral, like wondering who is that who just walked in the door. And when I actually realized, Janet, you know, I went from 0 to 60, like real quick. I was like, oh, this is not rehearsal anymore. This is the show. I'm going. I was like, give it. What? Like, every Janet video I've ever watched and ever like mimicked and ever like prepared myself to be one of her background dancers and whatever. And she's just sitting and watching the rest of the show. And I think it was like maybe 20 minutes, had gone by. We're still doing all the songs, whatever. And then we stopped, and then he was like, "Oh, come over. I want you to meet her." And I'm just sitting there like, and she was like, "Okay, well, when is the show open?" I don't know. We had like 2 more weeks until we were supposed to go out. She was like, "Oh, you guys are ready now." And I was like, yes, that was like the stamp. If somebody, tells you that you still have 2 weeks to go in rehearsal, but they looking at you like, y'all ready to go on stage right now. And it's like, oh, I need you guys to be on my tour. And I was like, yeah, come on. And
like
Janet Jackson. So that was like a huge moment for me. Then after the group, was disbanded and same choreographer, and I was in LA, and he invited me out to hang out with all of them again. And I'm in the club sitting down, and Janet is telling me, you just got to keep on going. You can't let anybody take anything away from you. They can't take any of what you learned away. You just got to keep doing what you're doing. And I'm like, why is she telling, in the middle of the club? Janet Jackson is giving me the advice to keep going. And she could be like partying right now. She wants to sit down and have a heart to heart with me. So that is, yeah.
It's been amazing. I know it must have. So we're gonna turn over to some Twitter
questions. Hey, Twitter questions. Okay. So the first one is from Latanya. She asks if you could do a duet with any male artist, who would you want to do it with?
There's a few actually, because I've been thinking about this. I have my favorites, of course, Chris Brown.
Ooh, I think that would be a good one.
It would be a good one
because number one, it would be a duet battle.
Yeah.
That's on the wish list. Miguel.
Oh,
love Miguel. Andre 3000.
Oh my God,
that's a great one.
That sounds like heaven on earth.
I know. Because when they did the Outkast was doing all the festivals last summer, but they ended in Atlanta like a 3-day concert in the middle of Centennial Park, which is in the middle of downtown Atlanta. It was like an Outkast national holiday here. And that was like, oh my God, I need to get backstage. I need to talk to him. Happened. It was like so many. If you could imagine the amount of celebrity star power just around, and everybody was there. So I was like, all right, we're going to have this meeting, this talk another time. So,
yeah.
He's on my vision board too. So I just got to, work my little 6 degrees of separation and make that one happen. But yeah, those are my top 3.
Okay.
That's a good one. And I would like to send an apology because me and my sister started this years ago, a rumor. When we were little kids, it was a rumor in our mind. When we saw you and She's Fine Too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I used to be one of Lloyd's dancers, so
Really?
that's how that cameo in his video came about, because I was one of his dancers while I was still, in school at NYU, and they knew everything I was trying to accomplish in my artistry. So when everything took off with making the band, they were like, "This is probably the perfect time for you to do this. Let's do this." And I was like, "Okay." And
Awesome.
it was the goofiest love interest. Like, y'all don't know the giggling and shyness of both of us at the time when they told us we had the kids. We were like, "Ew, okay, well, wait, don't laugh. Okay, I'm serious this time. Okay." You know what I mean? So
that's one of our favorite hits of all time. We were like,
Right?
They can't tell us nothing. All right, we have another question on Twitter from Keisha. It says, Ham and Telly, congrats on your season 1 finale. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't wait for season 2. Hey, D Woods, in parentheses. And it says, this question is for all of you. How do you guys define success?
Wow.
I'll let D Woods.
Yeah. D Woods, you go. How you go first? How do you define success?
Oh, I feel like success is probably going to change depending on where you are in your life, but I feel like success is happiness.
Ooh, yes.
So if you are happy, if you're content with the outcome of your work, I feel like that's success. Like you were successful in achieving whatever you were working on, whatever it was, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I have this meme that I put up on Instagram once, and it was like an arrow going just straight up. And it was like what people think success looks like. And it's just an arrow going straight up. It's like what success actually looks like is this little squiggle, and then it just keeps gradually going up, but it might be a hue down and then comes back around and up. So you just never know. I think it just really depends on if you can look at yourself in the mirror and be happy with what you see.
Exactly. I agree. I define success. Okay, what I say too is success is what you define it as. What you believe is success in your own right. If you feel like going across the street and buying a bag of chips was successful to today, that's your success. It may sound weird, but success is what you make it, just like happiness is what you make it.
I agree with both of you guys, but there's a quote by Samore. She said in one of her stand-ups. I love her. Yeah. But she said, success is when you can pay your own bills and not have to depend on anybody else. And I feel like for me, that's definitely like how I define success. Because, when you growing up, you live with your parents, they take care of everything. And like us definitely like going into adulthood and starting our journey into adulthood, you see that it's not that easy, like paying your bills and making sure you have meals every day and, going to school and, following your dreams. And I think success definitely is like, being happy with yourself and everything. But then another huge part of it is like that great sense of independence. Like I never thought about this. It that way. Yeah, like I got this. No matter what happens in the world, I know I'm okay. And I think that's
beautiful.
Too.
Yeah. Shout out to Sophomore for that one. I never thought about it. There's
another Twitter question here.
We got a lot of them for you.
They really will send them in today. This one's from Mary. Who inspires you, and what is the last song you played on your playlist today?
Well, the last song that I played, it's not even a song yet. It's a track that one of the producers that I'm working with sent me. I was listening to it to write to. So that was the last song that I played. So many people inspire me. Shoot, a little baby that is laughing for no reason is inspiring. Or I'm definitely inspired by my friends. I'm inspired by my friends because, like I told you before, I came up in the theater company, and I just see how everyone has blossomed. And I have friends that are on Broadway right now. I have friends that are in film and television. I have friends who are choreographing for major artists. I have friends who are, Grammy Award winning producers or on people's albums. It's like when one of us wins, we all win. I have a friend who stopped acting and decided she wanted to start a family. And then after she started a family, she decided she was like, I miss acting, but she didn't know how to get back into it. And she used her own experience of being a young mother and wrote a whole series called Mommy Uncensored. You guys can find it on YouTube. It's on a YouTube channel called Mommy Uncensored. And she just asked all of us to be in it, to be characters. And it's a hilarious, it's a comedy situation, all of her crazy mommy stories. And, she took that, her and, her husband, he does video production. So they just use all their resources and their creativity and their own real life stories and made it into a series. And we all helped. And the series won awards in different film festivals or web series festivals and stuff like that. And then come to find out after that, she got, an audition to do like a very small extra role in the movie Selma.
Wow.
And she could have just said, oh, it's just like a no lines, just a one day thing, whatever. But she went there and showed out to the point the directors were like, who is she? We need to keep using her. We're going to put her in the scenes with Oprah. We're going to have her. And then if you've seen Selma, like she becomes like almost a main character with no lines because she plays the mother to the boy who gets shot by the police. I don't know if you've seen.
Oh my God.
And she's like crying on the floor when they shoot him in the restaurant. And then they keep going back to her and they keep. I was like, dang, Charity, you took her name is Charity. I was like, dang, is this the story of your character? Like, you got more screen time than Oprah in this movie. You and Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was inspired by the fact that she stopped totally and then by chance won this award. Well, she didn't even win an award, but she just won this role in this award-winning movie that got so much. So that's like inspiring just to see somebody like take their gift and continue to find ways to use it no matter what. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We had to narrow these down. We're like, listen, y'all get out of control. We're gonna hit you with 4 questions.
Right.
All right.
One more left.
One more. It says, if you had the opportunity, okay, it's kind of like the first one, but it says, if you had the opportunity to star along someone in a movie or show, who would it be? And this is from Danny.
Oh, well, let's look at my vision board over here. I definitely have Denzel Washington up here.
I'm up there. We up there, right? We up there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we got that one checked today. And then Taraji P. Henson. I love her.
Oh my God, you and Taraji P. Henson in
something.
Oh, like I would die and come back to life.
We need to see you on Empire. That's what we need to see you.
Right. Listen, we about to email Lee Daniels. Like
Lee Daniels.
Yes.
Make her want to
take real. That show is hot.
Sister, right? You should be Cookie's sister. That, like, I don't know, something crazy, something fun.
That was a low key messing with Derek Luke, and then they got a drama
Oh
there
my God,
go.
yes.
There we go.
And then you come back for mad seasons because like you and Derek had like a baby. Oh my God, we need to like.
Y'all just wrote the whole episode.
Oh my God! See, this is why Lee needs Ham and Telly.
Yup, that's what we need. Yes, in our eyes, you've just been casted.
Right, right.
Yeah, I definitely have a wish list. I just got wind that, you know, they're doing a new production of The Wiz. So I'm definitely looking into that. And then, of course, Empire's on the list. I have a lot of things. Power, I love that show.
Ooh.
So I'm definitely like got a wish list of things and people I would like to start next to. But definitely Denzel and Taraji. That would be like my female and male. Yes.
I can see it. I can see it. You can see it. Right?
I can listen. You heard my episode, right? I can see it.
All right. So we have a game for you. We got a Ham and Telly game.
Ham and Telly game. We do a lot of random singing, random dancing. It's fun.
I know she's like, y'all crazy. All right. It's called This or That.
Yes.
And it's basically which one would you rather go with, or you like the most.
So we got a few things that we're gonna ask you, and then you're just gonna tell us this or that.
All right. So number one is singing or acting.
I can't. I can't.
You love them both.
Singing, dance, and acting is all together.
Yes. We love that.
She served it for us. She did. She had to let us know real quick. Jordans or red bottoms?
Jordans.
Jordans. Mm-hmm.
That's that ATL in her. Yeah.
Them red bottoms will give you corns.
Yeah. Girl, listen.
You will be hurting walking.
Hip hop or R&B?
Hip hop.
Ooh.
I kind of thought she was gonna pick R&B though.
Really, I thought that hip hop from you.
But then again,
no, hip hop. I'm like a big hip hop fan now. It's crazy. Before I love me some R&B too.
Yeah.
Next one.
Takeout or home cooked meal?
Depends. Who's cooking?
Us.
Can y'all cook?
Yes.
We can throw down.
You want us to come and throw down for you?
Listen, I make the best bowl of cereal you have
You
ever
are
tasted.
No, let me give you some real stuff. Come to Brooklyn and my mama will throw down for you.
Yes.
Okay. Wait a minute. We're in Brooklyn because I be on the train now. I am not one to be scared to get on a train. I'll be out there.
Listen, we will ride the train with you. Take some selfies.
Listen, my mother, before this show, she was like, listen, tell her that I cooked the meanest pork and she ain't gonna want to go home. So,
I don't eat pork though.
We got substitutes. We got substitutes for you. We'll have a couple of things laid out for you so you can say you had options.
Yes. Ham and Telly took care of you in Brooklyn. Okay. What's the next one, Ham?
Planes or cars?
Planes. You can get there quicker.
Yes.
I still never been on a plane.
You slacking.
Oh, you need to get on
You
one.
slacking. Planes are amazing.
You need to run away for a day or two on a plane.
Come to Atlanta, come see you. Hang out with our new best friend.
It's not that long of a flight. It's about 2 hours. You fall asleep, wake up, you there.
Yep, I don't want to fall asleep
sounds
though.
amazing.
I want to see it and see everything. I want to be like, yeah,
all you see is clouds.
I'm gonna take it in.
Okay.
And the final one.
Ham or Telly.
Oh no, I have to choose between you guys.
We know it's Ham. You ain't gotta say it. We just heard it by your voice.
Oh, I can't split you guys up.
Ham is just because she doesn't want to hurt your feelings, because we just established that we're best friends. How did you miss that?
Y'all established that you're best friends, but she confirmed that she want to come and eat at my house.
Because you would rather her to your house.
Lord.
You don't have to pick. We
You
know
don't have to pick.
We know that you You are amazing.
And we love you equally too.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I had lots of fun. You
Wait,
taught me how to use Google Hangouts.
Yes.
Yes.
Two more questions before you go, because you know your fan base will kill us. It says, when do you plan on releasing an album?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, you know what? And this is a little something for the fans, okay?
Ooh.
Ham and Telly exclusive?
Yeah, it might not be what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So, we as artists can only do what we do if you, the fans, do what you guys are supposed to do, which is support and actually buy. Don't just download or rip from the YouTube links or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I'm testing the waters. Like I have music, I have stuff like waiting in the wings, but we're building momentum. And when I see the momentum rise and the buzz and the people really like get a part of it, that's when we drop it. It's kind of like we wait for the perfect storm. And that's what I'm waiting on the fans. You know what I'm saying? Like I've dropped singles, of course, you know, if you guys want to look for any of the music that I released, you can look on missdwoods.com and get into it and catch up. Because it's kind of like, you know, like when Hunger Games 1 and 2 came out and the third one's about to come out, but you might have not seen 1 or you might just seen the commercials, but you're going to go see 3. You don't know what's going on. You have to go see them all and, and be ready for the next installment. So I'm waiting for everyone to be ready for the next installment of D Woods. I got music waiting in the wings, but like I said, you know, I need the fans to show that they ready for it, because I can't just put it out and it just be sitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't trying to brag or nothing, but you gotta call me to do a little Luther on your tracks or something.
Uh-oh.
He swear he sound like Luther.
I do.
But he sound like we done strangled the cat, and the cat.
But I'm listen. Once you hit that top technology with my vocals, I'm gonna be on point.
Ain't nobody got time to spend hours fixing your voice.
I could do a little ad libs if you want. Yeah. What? All right. So what's next for D Woods? What do you? We know you want to do. We know you're going to do a few auditions. We know you're making music, but what's next? What's next? What should we be expecting?
We should definitely expect more music with the Blackbird soundtrack. We're going to be putting out other music too throughout the summer, so just look out for that and just expect more live performances in a city, venue, concert, in the park. I don't know. It's all coming soon. It's all in the works. So we're just like going to continue putting out visual projects that accompany the music. And like I said, when the momentum rises to the point where we can't deny, like the people are ready for it. They ready. We'll take off the wheels, the training wheels, and we'll give you all the full thing. So I'm just in the lab cooking up a whole bunch of fire.
Listen, and speaking of fire, my mother's gonna kill me because she back here like, when is she coming to New York? When are you coming to New York?
Actually, I just left New York not too long ago. I was out in New York doing all the Blackbird movie promo. But you know, we got some things in the works that's probably gonna happen soon. You know, shows and stuff. I don't want to say. I don't have exact dates, but we're solidifying things with different, you know, touring promoters and things of that nature. So just join the movement. Go to missdwoods.com. We'll put all the dates up there. Of course, my social media at your girl D Woods on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And that's where you find out everything.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you, D Woods.
And thank everyone for tuning in.
But especially thank you for coming. This was a great interview. We're going to post all of D-Wood's information, including her website, below, so that you get a chance to stay up with what's happening with D-Woods.
And yes, and thank you for an amazing season, you guys. Season 1 of Ham and Telly has now concluded.
Yes.
We are going to make some little exclusive vids. I got to keep it up. Can't give everything away.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Ham and Telly.
Ham and Telly.
Yeah, Ham and Telly. HAMANDTELLY. We have a lot of exclusives coming this summer before season 2 starts. So make sure you stay in the loop. Thanks again to D-Wood.
Follow her. Your girl D-Wood.
Bye.
She's full of dopeness. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye.